My name is Sparrow, and I am a professional lace maker and shuttle tatting instructor. I've been tatting since I was 9 years old, and I've been teaching since I was 19. And today, for this video, I'm going to show you how to make twisted picots, which are a decorative picot element that I used in my celestial patterns. The first of this 3-pattern series, the stellar pattern, which is the star, is already available right now for my pattern club on my Patreon. And the other 2 patterns, lunar and solar, are also going to be available over the next coming 2 months. Twisted picots add just a little bit extra something to these designs, and while they're pretty simple to do, there is a little bit of a trick to them, so let's get started. For this tutorial, you are going to want something to mark your thread with. I am partial to the Pilot friction pens. These are erasable with either friction or heat. And because I steam block all of my pieces with just a hot iron, it will erase any marks that are left over. Obviously, this works best on a lighter colored thread. So if you're using a darker color thread, you may want to get something like Taylor's chalk or even just regular chalk. That will be a little bit easier to see on a darker color. And you will also need something to measure the length of your picot with. This can either be a picot gauge, or a soft ruler or hard ruler, or even just a piece of sturdy paper or something that is the correct measurement for how long you want your picot to be. In this pattern, for the stellar pattern, my picots are a 1/2 inch, so I will be measuring to a 1/2 inch. Also, both of my samples here are made with a size 10 Lisbeth tatting thread, and that is also what I am using for this tutorial. Now, there are actually 2 different ways to do twisted picots. The first is really simple and doesn't require any extra tools, but the twists are not locked into place. So you can see here on this example, some of them look pretty good, but some of them kind of want to pull back down or untwist, and they're not very sturdy. But the method that I'm going to show you for this tutorial, the twists will be locked into place, and this will make a much cleaner and smoother twisted picot. Now, some of these are a little bit too long, but you can still see, especially this one right here looks really good. You can see how much nicer these twisted picots look. So for that first method, the easy method, the way to do that is really simple. You're just going to make your picot to the length that you want it to be. This is just a regular long picot. You can measure that out however you like. And then you would finish off your ring, and when you get to the next ring or section where you are going to join, that is when you would make this picot into a twisted picot, simply by inserting your hook that you're going to use for your join into the long picot and then twisting it around a couple of times until it gets the look that you want, and then making the join through the top of that picot. Now again, this is not super stable, so that is going to want to untwist as soon as you take your hook out of it. And once you get the join on there, it's going to be a lot more stable, but it's still going to want to kind of roll up. If you are going to be blocking your piece with any kind of starch or stiffener, that's probably not that much of an issue. So if you want to take the easier method, this is one way that you can achieve the same look. But that is not what we want for this particular pattern. It's going to just be a lot easier and a lot nicer if we make those twisted picots lock in place. And in order to do this, you need to kind of understand what a ply is. What a ply is the twist that is applied to a series of threads that will make a cord. So if we get a real close up on our thread right here, we will notice that if we twist one direction, it's going to cause this tatting thread to kind of pull apart. So that is not the direction that we are going to want to apply our twist. We're going to want to apply our twist going in the opposite direction. But first, we need to measure out the length of our picot. So to do that, I'm just going to use my ruler here. And I am going to mark the original length that I want the picot. So for this pattern, that's going to be 1/2 inch. And that is going to be the center of our section. So just put a little dot on there. It might be a little bit difficult to see. And then I'm also going to mark twice that length again, so 1 inch. So now I have 2 little marks on my thread that are going to indicate where my picot needs to be. Next, I am going to very firmly hold the uncompleted ring, the stitches in my left hand, and I'm going to take my right hand and twist this thread. So this is the thread that makes up the hand ring. This is the thread that makes your stitches. And I'm going to continue twisting this without letting go. And this is a little bit tricky. So if you struggle with it, just keep trying and you'll get it. You'll get it. I'm going to twist this until it starts to roll up on itself. So you'll see there it's starting to want to kind of roll in on itself and become twisted up. So where that little halfway mark is, right here, I'm going to use my fingernail, and this is where having long nails actually comes in handy sometimes, and I'm going to encourage it to fold in half right at that point. So you can see how it wants to kind of roll up and fold together. And this next part is really, really important. I'm going to put that twisted section into the pinch and hold on to it really tightly while I make my next stitch, and that is going to help lock it into place. Now I can let go. Now that I've completed the next stitch, when I let go, that twist is right there where it needs to be, and it's not going to go anywhere. Now it does look a little bit messy, so one way to clean that up is to kind of untwist it a little bit and then twist it back, and that will kind of clean it up and lock everything in there together. And now you have a twisted picot. Now when I want to go to join to this picot, as you can see, you could actually leave this as a decorative element just like this. But to make a join to it, I'm just going to find the little bit of space that's right at the tippy top here and get my hook into that space. You can even go and untwist it a little bit at the very top if that helps. And now I can make a join right through that. And you can even do this as a doubled over picot if you want to do that, and it makes this really cool little twisted arch feature. And that is how you make a twisted picot. As I said, this can be a little bit difficult to get down at first, just as you are trying to hold everything in place. So practice it a few times before you start attempting the pattern, and that'll make it a little bit easier once you actually get into working your pattern. I will put a link to the Patreon pattern club where you can get this pattern and get access to the next 2 patterns as they are released down below in the comments box. Thanks for watching, and hopefully this was helpful.